Now, I've made a tactic that scores a few goals. What you'd call this, I'm not quite sure. Maybe a 2-1-4-1-2? Maybe a 2-6-2? You know, you could come up with a few names for it. But essentially, it's a 2 at the back with a 4-man midfield, 1 behind the striker, and 2 up top. And it's very good at scoring a few goals. Okay, so you probably want to see through the tactic. So I'll start off by showing you all the player roles. Starting off with the keeper, just a bog standard goalkeeper. Although I will mention I've done the test for this at Eastleigh in the Vanarama National. If you're at a higher level, sweeper, keeper, defend probably works. If you're at a really high level, sweeper, keeper, support or attack probably works. Now for this back two, it's just bog standard centre backs on stay wider. So you want these two, when you're on the ball, to really be stretching the play and making that pitch a bit wider. Then in front of those two, we've got a normal halfback, and it just means in possession, when we've got it deep here, this man drops back because obviously you don't have the release of the fullbacks, so you're kind of lacking those players there. The halfback coming in makes it so much easier to retain possession when playing out. Then we move on to these wide players who are just bog standard defensive wingers on support. And a defensive winger, essentially what it is a normal like winger in that spot, but they press harder and they tackle harder, especially on the support duty. Defense duty, it's closer to like a wing back. Then I've got a midfield two of a box-to-box midfielder and a Mazzala on support. And now a Mazzala, as I'm sure you all know, they get forward a bit more in these wider spaces like in the channel here. And a box-to-box, when you're attacking, is going to be in that other box. So this is where you really start to flood their box. And next up we've got a shadow striker, and whoever plays in the shadow striker role is going to score goals. Because it's like, oh, what, they've dealt with the two strikers. Oh look, there's about 20 runners behind them with the midfielders and this shadow striker. And the shadow striker I find is normally the one popping up with the goal. Although the Mazzala isn't half bad for a goal. And then you get this front two of 2 advanced forwards. Always on the last man, always causing issues, always scoring goals. If we look here, Bobby Duncan was one of the starting strikers this year. 41 games if you include the sub off the bench. 32 goals. 6 assists. We create a few chances for him. And you have similar numbers for his strike partner Thomas. 36 starts, 28 goals, but 15 assists. And then for an example of the shadow striker, the only player who consistently played there, because everyone else who could play shadow striker, they could play centre mid, they could play out wide, or they could play up top. And although Ozazi, I'm not really sure how you say that, could do that. Whenever he played, he was normally shadow striker. His numbers were 20 starts, 8 goals, 4 assists. So I think you can tell those 3 get a few goals and assists. If we go to stats here for goal scorers, we've got the 2 who played up top, both in the top 3 scorers. And then Chesterfield actually had someone in first. And there's something I haven't really mentioned yet, how we did in the league. We won it. 94 points. Remember, there's 2 less games than a normal Vanarama National season. Obviously, because there's only 23 teams this year. But if you look at the player stats, also here, assists, Jake Hensworth with 18 assists. Thompson with 15. And we come into team overview. We scored 119 goals. Second place scored 82. If we look at shots for, nearly 100 more shots than second place Grimsby. Now we've gone through the player instructions and all of those stats. The actual team instructions, I'll start off on in possession. So because it's positive, the default is fairly wide. We keep it like that because we like stretching the pitch. A lot of our players start very narrow, so we're fine with them going further wide. Then for approach to play, we just play out a defence. For passing directness, we're much shorter but with a higher tempo. So although we're playing this tippy-tappy passing, if we see a man going through, we're going to play that ball. Now in transition, we counter press, we counter, we distribute quickly. All things I think you'd expect from this shape. I mean, if we lose the ball, obviously we're trying to win it back. When we win it, we're trying to score, and we distribute quickly because we want to get going. Distribution type, just roll it out. It makes sense. I mean, if you have big strikers, you can take it long. Distribution type, roll out normally just works. Then for out of possession, just higher lines and press much more often. So you've probably heard all that. and you're thinking, sounds like a good tactic, but you probably want to see it play, so let's go do a play test. Hey, just before I go do a play test, this many people aren't subscribed, so if you want to catch these tactic videos and my rebuilds as soon as they come out, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell. Anyway, enjoy the play test. Now for the play test, I made a separate save like a few games back, so instead of what I normally do, whereas I just boot up a new save and first game of the season I'll use it, yeah, I can just go back to like the middle of the season, play a game. So this is the 41st game of the season, obviously a 44 game league season. We're playing Kings Lynn, who aren't a very good side, 22nd, and hopefully this can show up the tactic in full effect. Obviously the familiarity is good, which is an issue I've had before when I just do first game of the season. With all that said, let's go beat Kings Lynn. Now, Kings Lynn are coming at us with a 4-2-3-1 formation. Pretty standard, although you get a lot of free backs in this league. So as you can see, we're the team in the orange here, even though Eastleigh are normally in blue. We've worked it wide here, but it's cleared. And we win the ball back. And like, look at this. It is like these free back, and then everyone else is just flooding their area of the pitch. And here you can see the defensive winger, just like a normal winger really. I'll be honest, there isn't a hell of a lot of difference. You can see the halfback slotting in there, makes it a lot easier, but our shadow striker through to Bobby Duncan, who scores, and that in this universe is his 29th goal of the season. If you can look here, we're just building up through that halfback, who really just makes it so much easier to retain possession, because you've got that extra man there going forward, and they just can't mark all the players. As I'm sure you can imagine just looking at the shape, we create a few overloads. But now the issue we do have is that switch to the opposite side, because we don't have actual fullbacks. And although the defensive wingers do get back, often they can leave that space in behind. So something you have to watch out for is that diagonal switch. But again, in behind where the fullbacks would be, having to get out to them. Both centre-backs go there. What was that? So Eastleigh go long here, and we're just able to regain possession. And look, with that halfback, it's like a free back, but he always, like, this halfback is always on the ball. You look at the pass maps, he's normally up there, if not the top passer. But Bobby Duncan through here, he nearly gets a second. Yeah, because a halfback actually at this Vanarama national level, to have a player who can play it well is very rare. But even if it's a DM who isn't really like natural at playing that halfback role, it's just so crucial to be able to retain possession that I'm always going to play it. Now they switch it over to where the fullback would be, and they do grab a goal. Because as much as I focused on how good this is at attacking, we have like a bad defence. We have like a lower mid-table defence. Because I mean, of course we do. We play two at the back. Now they go long here. And the flick-on's actually successful to Clifton, who does manage to get it in. So we are now one behind, but I've been one behind so many times and won by like a significant amount. Okay, we're back with the ball out wide left. We're playing it around. We go forward, and Bobby Duncan in behind. Ooh, damn close. It hits the crossbar. Now we're approaching half time here. In the injury time of the first half, and Bobby Duncan manages to get that goal. It's just such an easy goal there. Jesus Christ, we've got another highlight for the end of this first half. Could it be us grabbing another goal, the third to put us ahead, and Bobby Duncan with a first half hat-trick? This is what I mean. We score stupid amounts of goals. Like, look, was it that defensive winger? He just steps up, picks up the ball, and we're instantly through again. 2 goals in the injury time of the first half. Okay, it's a free kick now. They knock it long, but it looks like we're going to regain possession here. And we're just going to play some short balls until Thompson's found over the top. Can he score though? He can. He kind of takes it past the keeper, and he puts it in to put Eastleigh 4-2 up. But it is a Kings Lynn corner, and Bird scores. It looks like we're approaching the end of this game. Oh, but we have another highlight in this 83rd minute. A throw into the mighty Eastleigh. We're working it down. Oh, but the ball over the time to Thompson. And this is what I mean. Oh my, he's done the same goal, but he's hit it a bit harder. This is what I mean. Even with this much shorter passing, because the tempo's up there, if they see that man trying to get in behind, they'll just play him. And I think that was demonstrated perfectly there. He hits that a bit hard, doesn't he? Considering it's basically an open goal. And I think it's going to end 5-2 Eastleigh. No, the game's never dull with this tactic, I can tell you that. And we're back with the ball. And again, we're playing that ball in behind, but it doesn't quite come to anything. But we're back with the ball again. Thompson coming forward. Bobby Duncan. Hexwell. Oh my God, it's just one touch football. And that's quite a nice goal there. 6-3 Eastleigh. I think this is the perfect game to show off this tactic, because this is what it's all about. If you look here, that was some lovely football. Like just one touch, and then first time, bang. I'd love that goal. And I think that's going to be the end of this game. Both strikers. Was that 2 hat tricks? Bobby Duncan. Yeah, both strikers getting a hat trick. Like, we do goals. Thank you for watching. Obviously, I'm doing these tactic videos fairly regularly, as well as the rebuild. So if you want to catch them, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, and thank you for watching.